Yay, it's selling. Still got a bunch of crap on the shelf there that's got to go though.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream. But Heidi's happy to see that crap go. It's been sitting in a box forever.
At least a year.
At least a year. All right, guys, so welcome to RV Daydream, and try to give you guys an update. We got to run to the post office again because I sold yet something else. And unfortunately, I'm not in the swing of things fast enough here to realize I need to quit printing labels that have the ship date of the current day. And I don't want to screw over the post office or my customer thinking that why didn't this package go out? So we got to run up to the post office again. I shipped something out through our mail in the mailbox today. I had to take something to the post office today, which Heidi did for me since she's off today. Yeah, Heidi's off. Go figure that out. 2 days in a row. And then I sold something else when I was sitting here waiting for some deliveries from Amazon. No, not more junk. So we been out today, out and about since Heidi's off. Just odds and ends of stuff going on. Our son is wanting to give you guys an update, so he hasn't sent me any pictures yet, but he went to North Carolina, like we had mentioned. He stayed there, I think, a night at one location. Then he went over to Raleigh, Durham area. He stayed a night there, and then he drove down to Murfreesboro or something like that.
Georgia?
No, to South Carolina. And he stayed at a Walmart parking lot there. And just, I don't know, a few minutes ago, what time is it now?
2 something.
Yeah, so 2 o'clock Eastern time. He just sent us a message, and he's in St. Augustine. And I said, you need to stop and explore that city, because anybody that's ever been to St. Augustine, that's a nice area to check out. So I want to give a shout out, though, to, I'm digging for my phone, see if I can find the gentleman's name. Okay, I finally found it. Wes Pyburn. And it was on the video that that my son kind of spoke out, and I think I then reiterated it after the fact. Heidi talked about it in the past, and that's basically, hey, if anybody knows of any kind of odd jobs that are down in Florida that he could temporarily do, that's kind of what he wants to do. He just wants to go down there and find something temporarily, just put some little change in his pocket, going jingle, jangle, jingle. So Wes Pyburn, great offering and comment, and it was he could work the state fair in Tampa, and then the Strawberry Festival in Plant City is 20 minutes apart. So I went ahead and I typed in on Indeed job search the Tampa State Fair, and a whole bunch of jobs came up. And they were right, I mean, they're temporary, they're part-time, and he could do almost all of them. In the meantime, I also sent him the link to the Strawberry Festival so he could call and talk with them and see if there's a chance he might be able to work there. But also there was another job offer that was in along that state fair line at some amusement company, and it sounds like carnival. They need carnies of some kind, and I mentioned that to my son. I sent all that over to him, and he said that seemed kind of interesting to him. So the only thing that's going on with his van, he did really good in gas. He's so far, he hasn't given us an update since North Carolina, but he was excited that it only cost him $75 in gas in North Carolina. He left here with a full tank, and he said if he was to fill up his tank at that point, it was probably another $30. So he basically spent about $100 in gas to get there. And I'm assuming he probably gets about 14 miles to the gallon in his van. It is a small block V8, so and it's got good 355 highway gears. So I mean, it'd probably do a good job on the highway even. That the van's a little heavier, and he's keeping the speed down too. So he's having a problem with the van. He had a problem with it before he left, with the idle air control valve just not doing its job for whatever reason. It could be a harness problem. It could be a computer problem. It could be the idle air control valve. We swapped out his idle air control valve thanks to the manager of the store that we bought it at. It was under warranty for like 3 years anyways. So she warrantied out his old idle air control valve that we had replaced. I don't know, back when we did all that work on the van, or he did all that work on the van. And it solved the problem And he hasn't had a problem until he just got to North Carolina. And he says, my van's doing the same thing when I come to a stop or whenever I'm at an idle. He says, there's just not enough idle there to keep it running, and it likes to stall. So I told him to go ahead and troubleshoot it. I mean, there's nothing else he can do. I told him to disconnect the battery first for about 5 minutes, reconnect it again, and see if the computer resets the idle air control valve when it goes and relearns it again. I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not, but you got anything to add?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, I'm done with this update. We'll find out what we're going to talk about at some other time. The RV's, I went and got propane today. That was it. I refilled the propane tanks, or one propane tank on the RV, and there was still some in it. I thought it was empty. We might run the furnace in the RV for a while, try to get that moisture out of there, run some fans. I don't know what it looks like in there. What's it? Have you been in there?
Mm-mm.
Oh, neither have I. We should, though. But, yeah.
You have the stairs up, so.
Yeah, you know how to pull them down.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted them down.
Well, the only reason I put
wanna
them up
hear
is
you
because of
cry.
snow. Just snow. All the snow and ice.
That's true.
I didn't want to have to deal with shoveling off the
Do
steps.
we have
or
4
chiseling.
legs?
I think there's legs on there. Yeah, you guys remember we're having her brother do some leg work for us. Yeah, I think all the legs are on there. All right, we're out of here. Howdy, YouTube. And yeah, we're into another day. I haven't even got out of my pajamas again. Now I think about it, I think the last time I was on camera, no, that's right, Heidi and I did an update. But prior to that, I was in my pajamas. Matter of fact, I think I was wearing the same shirt. Of course, it's been washed. Let's go ahead and continue the story of what's been going on. And in this case, you know, RV Daydream, what you doing? Our son is now over in the Wesley Chapel area, which is the Tampa area. Now, unfortunately, there's some really sad news, that accompanies in this story, that accompanies this part of the story, and that is my son, whenever he was about 9 years old, 10 years old, he had met my uncle. This was my dad's brother. So my son was going to go over and reacquaint himself with what is his great aunt and uncle. But anyways, my uncle Larry had passed away, which it's really sad. He's had cancer for, I think he was first diagnosed with some form of cancer in the 70s, and you know, all these years later. So my son was actually in the Melbourne area for a while, which we'll talk about that first. While he was in Melbourne, he changed his idle air control valve for his van, and unfortunately the problem actually got worse, so he put his old idle air control valve back on, and he says it's livable. He says it hasn't stalled so far, but it's livable. The idle's a little low. I think he got another defective part, to tell you the truth. And that's one of the things I want you to take away from this, is just because you're putting on new parts don't mean that the parts are necessarily good. And what I'm talking about is just buying whatever the GP Sorensen or whatever cheap electronic that the auto parts are selling, you know, the auto parts stores. You know, a lot of times you can get by with that, but if you have a vehicle that's older and you want to be pretty sure, you want to buy some name brand stuff. What I'm talking about is if you have a GM, you want to buy AC Delco parts. If you have a Ford, you want to buy Motorcraft parts. Of course, Dodge, they've got their own thing. I don't know what it is anymore. It used to be Direct Connection years ago. But anyways, he kind of, again, experimented with changing it out, and it got worse. Put the old one back on, it got better again, or back to where it was, and maybe slightly better. So while he was in Melbourne, he explored the area. He stayed at Walmart a couple of nights in the area. Broken up. The first night he stayed there, he actually asked the manager, "Hey, are we allowed to stay in the Walmart parking lot?" And the guy said, "Well, you're not supposed to, but everybody does." So he did. And of course his van is so, you know, stealth basically. You can't, you know, it's just a vehicle. Even though I think, you know, anybody that's got half a brain can figure out, you know, what's going on with the van. You know, you see that Reflectix up in the window. Then he went and stayed at a state park. He was happy to get in there. He had an electrical hookup. He plugged in. He charged up, you know, topped off his batteries. He loves the weather down there. He explored some local parks. He explored downtown area. He walked all around. He pretty much did everything that he wanted to do. And then he stayed at the Walmart parking lot again, or another Walmart parking lot the next day. And that's when he did his idle air control valve exchange and all that. At that point, he had told me, he sent me a message at like 7 in the morning. He said, "Hey, listen, I'm heading over to Tampa." He says, "I'm pretty much done with Melbourne. I've seen everything that I wanted to." At that point, I was getting hold of my cousin and going to let him know, hey, he's heading over that way, because my cousin said, listen, we might have, my cousin, if you guys don't know, I may have not mentioned this before, they manage, or they own, I should say, a couple of massage parlors that's in the Lutz area and the Wesley Chapel area. It's called Ideal Massage. And they said, actually, we could probably use him here. We've got some, work that needs to be done here. So with my son knowing that, and plus, like I'd mentioned, the Florida State Fair would be hiring for the, state fair that's coming up. And then, of course, the Strawberry Festival. He could work that potentially, but he said, I'm out of here, I'm leaving. And then about 2 hours later, my dad had called me and let me know that, his brother, my uncle, had passed away. And he's been ill for a while now. One of those things, it's expected, but it's never expected. I don't know how to describe that any better. So it's kind of sad he missed out meeting him or running into him or reacquainting with him. But he did get to see everybody else. I mean, he's over there. So I think he stayed at my cousin's last night, from what I could tell. He shares his location. If you guys don't know how to do that, if you have a Gmail account, anybody else that has a Gmail account, I'm talking to anybody, not just, family members or somebody on your phone plan or something like that. Anybody that has a Gmail or a Google account can share their location with anybody else that has a Google account, to the point where it's pretty accurate. It's sometimes slow. I mean, but nonetheless, you could kind of tell what's happening there and what's going on. Sometimes it's really fast. So he shares his location with us, so we can kind of see what's, where he's going and if there's any problems. And we can basically see where his phone is. I've got something else I need to do. Let's turn you around and show you. All these things that are on this shelf right here so far are listed on eBay. And I got a few more to list. Oh, that's listed on eBay. I got some more. Actually, I got some more to take photos with. And yeah, they've been selling. We've been putting them out. Nothing exciting though. We don't have anything that's groundbreaking that we're selling here. It's just odds and ends of stuff. You guys want to see what it is? Fox Boss 9, Foxboss, just like it sounds. Fox, like the animal. Boss, like who you report to on a daily basis if you work for the man. Fox Boss 9. You can go to eBay and look at that if you want. So we got a package today, and this is from George, and he's over in the Netherlands. George's been watching us for a while now, and yeah, he said he was going to send us something in the mail, and I had to sign for it today, and you can see the package. Customs opened it up. Examined by U.S. Border Protection, or I'm sorry, U.S. Customs and Border Protection. So George, this is what it looks like whenever it gets here after they go through it. I wonder what scared them. Let's go ahead and whip this open. Holy cow. He packed all kinds of stuff in here. He said he was going to send us some chocolates, but oh, check this out. Oh, Heidi's going to love this. Oh. Look at this. Oh, I got little Holland clogs that are made out of some sort of ceramic. It's like Christmas. I should have really let Heidi open this up. Cool. A t-shirt for Heidi. Awesome. Have no idea what that says. I'll have to read what he sends me. We'll set this out here. Like I said, Heidi will be excited about this. I'm kind of excited about this. Oh, this is a man shirt. Again, have no clue what the word is. I have to look it up. But he nailed it. He nailed my size. Cool. This is a container, which I'm assuming is some sort of candy. This is all buffering. Boy, you did a really good job, Pat. Oh, this is awesome. All right, so Heidi and I's on the diet, and we were just talking about how we like to have cheat days. These are some sort of a biscuit cracker. I don't know if you can see that. They actually did pretty good considering how much they probably got bounced around. They feel still really solid. It looks like some kind of a wafer cracker. Again, I can't read that. I'll have to look this up. And then this package here, I'm assuming. Let's take a look here. Yeah. It don't look like anybody's opened this. Now, that's pretty cool. Oh, now I want to eat one of these because I see that there's something in between there. I want to open one of these and eat it. Really bad. Haven't had breakfast today, so. Whoa, this has got something in between. I know you guys might be able to see this, but it's something gooey and shiny. Mmm. It almost tastes like, I hate doing this. I hate watching people eat on camera. It's almost like a syrup and a honey. God, the wafer's really good too. The wafer's more solid than a sugar wafer is here in the U.S. Mmm. We're going to eat every single one of these. I'll probably eat all of them today. No, I won't. I'll save them for Heidi. Oh my God. George, thank you. I can't wait for the shirts. First of all, I got to figure out what they say. Heidi will love the shoes. Thank you, George. I'm gonna stop it right here so I can enjoy the rest of this. I'm gonna call Heidi and show her the stuff that we got too. So we'll pick this up. Oh, George, awesome. Thank you. Look how wet it got out here. Stupid rain. Actually, snow and rain. So I've got the little buddy heater running in here. It heats up this porch easily. And then I've got the fan running to dry it out. That's what I'm doing today. Isn't that exciting? So I've got an item that I'm trying to review, and I went ahead and looked at the forecast, and it said it was going to be, I don't know, in the 34 degree range, somewhere around there, 33 degree range. And there was supposed to be some snow, possibly, just a little bit. And it's out here, now all of a sudden, it's like the sky's opened up, and all these little flurries are coming down. It's kind of wet. Go, VW Passat, go. Whatever that was. So, again, I got to do a review. I put the slide out. I've got the furnace running inside the RV, so guess what? I'm sure it's going to be damp inside there. And everybody, I know, Damp Rid. We have Damp Rid. We actually have some off-brand, but we've used Damp Rid. First time we used Damp Rid was probably it was in a car that we had, and we bought it used, and the guy had left the windows down in the car, in the back window, and the carpet was soaked. Well, I used my shop vac best that I could to get the water out, but there always seemed to be moisture in the car. It wasn't a rust hole that was letting it in. It's just what it seemed like. So, yeah, we got this Damp Rid bag that you could hang in a closet, and we put it hanging on one of the headrests, the post for the headrest, and that thing took a lot of water out of the car. And then after that, we've used Damp Rid in numerous things. Our pop-ups, we always put Damp Rid in there when we stored them for the winter. And I think our old RV, we had Damp Rid in a couple of cabinets at one point when we first got it, but that RV seemed to stay really dry. No matter what we did to it, it stayed dry all the time. I think a lot of that had to do with the paneling inside before we painted it. I don't know how absorbent it might have been. I don't know how much it may have been taking in moisture, where of course this one's sealed off everywhere. I mean, like I had mentioned, they even put silicone around the housing for the lower housing for the air conditioners. It just, you know, it seems like that everything's sealed off for a while. So maybe that's why there's moisture in there. Of course, me putting heat inside the RV is going to cause some problems too. Now, of course, now that it's warm, or now that I'm warming it up, I will, of course, put some sort of fan in there, and we will open up the damp rid containers. Again, we've had them. They're sitting on the bed. We'll go ahead and open those up and put them in there too. The other thing that we did was get those legs back from Heidi's brother. He's made all 4 of them. He made 2 really long ones, and then he matched the one that he had made and I cut off. He matched that one. So they're in the house because we don't want them to get damp or anything, because they are bare steel. We've got to drop them off to get them powder coated. That's the next step. So our son, he's doing work around the area. I guess he's working for my cousin in their business, and they got him doing multiple jobs. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, this snow sucks. I don't know if you guys can see it. For you guys that don't have snow, maybe you want to see it. I don't know why. I wouldn't want to see it. But there it is in all its glory. But it's just light snow. This stuff ain't going to stick. No, definitely not going to stick. Our son forgot a couple pots and pans. There we go. I'll tell you about that. He was in a rush when he left. I mean, he had some days to take his time to get it done, but you know, like most people, maybe you procrastinate on some things, and he procrastinated on getting that stuff ready, like he should have. So, yeah, he finally got it taken care of. Got everything packed and headed out, and then his first night that he was stayed out, he said, I forgot my pot and pan, or I forgot my pots. That's what he had said. So I was looking around here, and I go, which pot it was? It was all beat up, and it was a KitchenAid we used to have. And anyways, he don't know it yet. By the time this video is posted, he'll definitely have already received it. I just ordered him a set of pots and pans on Amazon. I'm having them delivered to my cousin's house. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. He is staying in my cousin's house. His van's outside. It's plugged in. Of course, he takes his van sometimes when he goes to some of these jobs. Like they had him go to somebody's house I don't know what their relationship is there, but he cleaned out all their gutters. And he's got a lot of stuff. He's got a lot of jobs that he needs to do down there. But we sent him some pots and pans, because for me to pay shipping on a used pot, and then he says, do you have any other pans you can send? It's not worth it. I had to send him some mail. I stuck that in a priority envelope. It's kind of nice. I guess that's one of the challenges that everybody talks about when they're on the road is, receiving mail. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have an issue with it to some extent, but we have places we can have mail delivered to or forwarded to. And, at that point we can redirect it as needed. It's going to seem strange, and I don't know how you guys feel about that, but it'll seem strange that we have mail that will no longer, be coming to the same address that it has for the last 20 years. And even prior to that, we had a P.O. box. In 1992, we got that P.O. box, and we received some junk mail that came for Patrick Fox. Well, fast forward all these years later, 30 years later, and we still occasionally get some mail in our mailbox now, because somehow it was redirected, that's addressed to Patrick Fox. I think that's hilarious. So I got some more stuff I have to post on eBay. It's going good. There's some bids that are happening, some stuff that's going out the door, and we're getting rid of stuff. I guess that's the biggest thing. Oh, and we might have a huge announcement. I'm going to tickle your guys's, funny bones here a little bit. Yeah, that's it. I'm tickling your funny bones. we might have a really huge announcement. We're working on some stuff, and you see me look off in the distance because I'm just kind of thinking to myself as I'm talking to you guys. Heidi and I had a pretty good discussion, not heated or argument like that. I'm talking about a really good, productive discussion, her and I, about possibilities. And we got a different way of thinking about something that we were planning on doing initially, and it may make some big changes. I'll just leave it at that. Of course, we'll make an announcement if it follows, if it falls through. We will not say anything about it, but if it goes through, we're definitely going to be talking about it. You'll definitely hear about it. Okay, I rambled on a lot on this, so I'm going to close this out.